You know, sometimes life throws something at you that's so out of the blue, you can't help but question if fate has a weird sense of humor. That's exactly what happened the day we found Shadow. Picture Thiza, slow, lazy Sunday, the kind where nothing exciting is supposed to happen. We're just driving home from church, the fields outside glowing under the sunset, when we spot him, this massive German shepherd, standing alone by a battered old fence post, almost like he's been waiting for us. He didn't flinch, didn't bark, didn't do anything but stare straight at our car, calm and patient, like he was sizing us up. I swear there was something in his eyes, something that said, yeah, I know exactly what I'm doing here. Emma, our 5-year-old, is the one who broke the spell. "Daddy, look, a dog," she yelled, already squirming out of her car seat before we could even stop the car. My wife and I looked at each other, worried, but something about the way that dog just stood there like he belonged, like he'd always belonged, made us get out too. Emma walked up to him slow, hand out, fearless, and that big dog just dropped his head and let her touch him, as gentle as could be. Right there and then, we knew we weren't leaving him behind. We brought him back to our farm, tucked between rolling hills and golden wheat, and Emma named him Shadow, because wherever she went, he followed. From day one, Shadow fit in better than any dog I've ever seen. He wasn't wild or needy, acted like he'd been part of family his whole life. He'd stick right by Emma's side, obey commands she didn't even know she was giving, and every night before bed, he'd make a lap around the house, checking every door, every window, like he was on patrol or something. He never barked just to hear himself talk, no. When Shadow barked, it was deep, purposeful, enough to make every critter in the woods stop dead in their tracks. One night, my wife said, "He's not just smart, Tom's disciplined, like he's had serious training." I tried to brush it off, but the idea stuck with me. A week later, that feeling turned into certainty. Just after midnight, when the whole world felt frozen, Shadow's bark shattered the silence. My heart jumped out of my chest, never made a fuss for nothing. I rushed outside, flashlight shaking in my hand, toes numb on the cold ground. There he was at the edge of the barn, body stiff, growling low at something inside. I followed his gaze too, shining eyes blinked at me from the darkness. A coyote just feet away from our chickens. Before I could react, Shadow sprang into action, not wild, but precise like a soldier on a mission. He chased the coyote out the back, quick and clean. By the time I caught up, the threat was gone and Shadow stood guard at the door, breathing steady. I whispered to myself, that's not just instinct, that's training. After that, I couldn't shake the questions in my mind. We decided it was time for a checkup just to be sure. Dr. Langston, our local vet, is a calm guy, great with animals, but Shadow walked into that clinic like he owned the place. No leash, no fear, just confidence. Dr. Langston started his exam, then paused when he found a barely there scar near Shadow's shoulder, almost invisible under all that fur. "Mind if I run a scan?" he asked. I said, "Sure, go ahead." The machine buzzed quietly, but then Dr. Langston's face changed, went pale, leaned in, checked again, then suddenly stepped back. He walked over to the front desk, told his assistant to lock the doors, and dialed the phone with shaking hands. "This isn't just a dog," he whispered. He called the police. Within 20 minutes, 2 black SUVs rolled up outside. Men in plain clothes stepped in, flashing badges, looking all business. "It's about the dog," one said. Emma clung to Shadow's neck, refusing to let go. The officers explained everything. Shadow wasn't just a stray. He was part of a top-secret military K-9 program, real name Titan. Years ago, his unit was ambushed during a covert mission. There was a helicopter crash, no human survivors found. Titan was presumed dead, but somehow he'd made his way back alone. They said he was one of only 5 dogs ever trained at that level. Project Sentinel, Black Ops, Rescue, and Reconnaissance, the works. The officer showed us grainy footage. Titan, in tactical gear, leaping from helicopters, dragging wounded soldiers, finding explosives. He saved dozens of lives, but 3 years ago, he disappeared behind enemy lines. Everyone assumed he was gone for good. But here he was, sitting in our living room, looking at us like nothing in the world could surprise him. "So you're taking him back?" I asked, voice tight. The lead agent hesitated. That's protocol, but this isn't a normal case. He's been through more than most people ever will. Emma started crying, clinging to Shadow. The officers tried to explain they needed to check for implants, classified data, whatever, but all I could think was this dog saved our daughter, protected our home, became part of our family. He's not a tool, I said. He's family. The officers exchanged glances, then did something unexpected. They decided to let Titan choose. Outside, under the old oak tree, Emma stood waiting, tears on her cheeks. The agent gave a military command. Titan's ears twitched, but he didn't move. Then he walked straight to Emma, sat down, and pressed his head into her side. Emma hugged him tight, whispering, "Please stay." The officer let out a slow breath. He's made his decision. We'll file for an exception, but we'll keep a quiet watch. Relief flooded through us. Titan hadn't chosen protocol, chosen home, love, family. Life settled down after that, but it never felt quite the same. Titan chased butterflies with Emma, stood guard at the porch, nudged my hand for a scratch every morning like it was his right. People in town would ask where we found such a dog, and I'd just smile. He found us. But sometimes, late at night, I'd see Titan staring off into the dark like he was still waiting for the next mission, the next twist of fate. So let me ask you, if you were in our shoes, would you keep Titan or send him back to a life of duty? Who decides what's right, family or country? Tell me what you think down below, because honestly, I think we're all still searching for the answer.